Hey guys, so welcome back to my YouTube video channel here. In this space of educated minds, I talk everything childcare, okay? So I teach people how to start, grow, and organize their business for success. So in this video today, I want to do a little reflection. And I really want to tell you guys about, honestly, the 5 things that I really wish I would have knew when I jumped into this childcare game, especially because I started at the early age of 20, and if somebody could told me the things that I've experienced over these past 13 years, all that it takes to start, grow, expand, get multiple locations, all the things that I've been through, maybe or maybe not, I might have stayed. So in this video today, I want to give you guys some of those gems so that you can understand what you're getting yourself into and you can be successful in your childcare journey. If you have not subscribed to my channel yet, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you can know every single time I drop a video, and definitely leave me some comments and share it with a friend or two, because that lets me know that you guys enjoy this video. Let's get into it. So I'm gonna jump right into it. I ain't gonna give you no fluff. I'm gonna keep it real. I'm gonna keep it raw. One of the first things I want to say that I wish I would have known jumping into the childcare world and childcare industry. So I joined into our family business at the young age of 20. Okay, and when you're 20, what do you want to be doing? You want to be outside, you want to be hanging out with your friends, you might be in college, you might got a job, you might be doing a trade, but starting a whole business and jumping it into an entire family business, I did not realize how time consuming it is, okay? So that's going to be one of the first things that I will say, is that I didn't realize being a childcare owner was so time consuming, right? And I say all that to say, starting any business, it takes a lot of effort, it takes a lot of energy, it definitely takes money and sacrifice and discipline, all the other things, all the other habits that you need to have and form, but you kind of learn as you go. But I genuinely feel like starting a childcare business is a beast like no other. Okay, and any of my childcare people that have started a business and understand what I'm talking about, definitely leave me some comments down below. But really, one of them is how time consuming it is. And I say that to say, because I know in this day and age that people have this mere concept that, oh, I want to start a daycare business because it's super lucrative and it's going to be easy. I don't want to be actually at my business. I mean, I'll be there a little bit, but I'm not trying to like be hands-on. You know, I just want to put people in place and run my business for me. Okay, can that happen? Definitely can. However, I am here to tell you from 13 years of experience and being open in a family childcare business for over 26 years that it is not that simple. It doesn't work that easy. You gotta be in your business. In order for your business to be successful, you gotta learn. How are you gonna teach somebody else all of the roles, the responsibilities, the do's, the don'ts? How are you gonna figure out what works well for your operations, what don't work well? How are you gonna teach that person that you're putting in place what works well for your business and your vision if you are not there to get your hands dirty and your feet wet? Okay, so it's a very time consuming business, meaning you got to plan out activities, you got to do staff scheduling, you got to train staff, you got to hire staff, you got to be prepared for unannounced visits and inspections and audits and emergency drills. All of those things, you got to be present. And I share that to say that I know that people have this notion of thinking they're going to start a business and they're not going to be there present. This childcare industry is not that. And if that is the case for you, you want to make sure you're not just starting any old childcare business. You want to start a business of quality, right? So you want to start a business of excellence. You want to have high standards for the staff that you hire. You want to have high standards for the curriculum and the education that you're providing to these parents, especially if your prices are crazy. You know, because at the end of the day, starting a childcare business, we have one goal. When you start a childcare business, it's to provide a safe, loving, nurturing, educated environment. But more importantly, as an educator, we are preparing children for kindergarten. That is our job. That is our role. That is what we do in our early child education sector. So with that being said, it takes time to figure those things out, not just as a teacher, but then you got to put on your business hat. right? So it's a very time consuming business when you're like trying to get systems, quote unquote, in place, and you're really trying to, you know, create a quality based childcare program that can operate without you. Be prepared to physically be at your center, opening, closing, doing all the things, right? Being the teacher, being the janitor, all these different things that you're dealing with in that space, because when you first open your business, or maybe you've been open 2 years now, you try and get some of your return on your investment back, right? So you might don't have the money to hire a janitor. You might don't have the money to hire a person designated specifically for the kitchen. You might be doing all of those roles. I have been doing all of those roles. So very time consuming, especially for me. I think like just being 20, like that age bracket of me from 20 to 25, we had 2 childcare programs that was running at that time. Then when I turned 25, we decided to jump out and get 2 more. So we had 4 at one point in time. Crazy. I've been down that road of multiple locations. That's a whole nother video, okay? But I say all that to say that I had to learn early on, like, it's sacrifice. Like, yes, your friends might be out. Yes, they might be late nights, but you at the daycare working. Like, the things I couldn't take care of on a weekday because I'm in the classrooms and I don't have the budget to hire more people, I was fully a teacher. But then I had to be in a daycare on Saturdays and then be a business owner, you know, and take care of the budget and take care of the business and write grants and all of the things to help the business grow and scale and expand. So be prepared to, quote unquote, like I love to call it, put your time in when you are starting a childcare business if you wanted to grow, scale of quality, and be successful. All right, the second thing that I wish that I would have known before I jumped into the childcare game, I'm going to say, is really the true cost of expenses, okay? Like, I really wish that I would have like understood and knew money and business and finance. And obviously at the early age of 20, 21 years old, I had no concept of money. I had no like, I just didn't know, right? Like, I had no concept and understanding of the true cost of care, the true cost of expenses, what is really like my number one expense. Like, I just didn't know those things. I was learning as I was going, especially because I come from the era of where we had a family childcare business in our home, meaning, yes, I've lived in a daycare, okay? We had a family childcare business in our home for like 8 years. And having a family business in your home and jumping out there and getting a center or 2 or 3 or 4, in our case, I really got to see numbers. I really got to see budgets. I really got to see negatives. I really got to see like all of the things when it comes to credit and business and finance. And so I really wish I would have understand how much it cost, not just to start a childcare business, but to maintain the operations of the childcare business, whether you making money or not. Because at the end of the day, the goal as an entrepreneur is to what? Make money. But also you got to understand it takes money to make money. And I didn't understand that. You know, like I was very frugal, obviously in the beginning stages of business, and then the more that you get, the more that you spend, and then you got to go back to the basics. So understand the true cost of expenses. I definitely wish somebody would have, like, you know, pulled my shirt or pulled my coattail and was like, hey, this is how you save. Okay, hey, this is how you position your business so that you don't have to be using your hard-earned money, so that you can get other people's money to help fund your business, okay, while you're building up, you know, your revenue, because you need income. You need that cushion money to build. If you don't got no cushion money to build and you're constantly robbing Peter to pay Paul in your business and you feel like your business is never going to grow, it's a part of the process that the first 2 to 3 years of your business, you literally might not make a profit, and you got to be okay with that. You literally could go from having an amazing salary on a job and thinking, oh, I work all these hours at another business, and now you think you're going to make that same salary your first year or 2 of business, but you got to pay your team. Right? So understanding the true cost of expenses is something I definitely wish I would have known had I known that opening up the next couple of centers, because that's debt that you got to obviously pay back. And if your income is not matching it, then we got a problem. All right, so the number 3 thing that I definitely wish that I would have knew before I became an entrepreneur and jumped into the childcare world is how much our team is a part of the process of being a successful childcare business. Can't stress it enough. Understanding like hiring and retaining staff I thought I knew it all. I definitely did, right? So I graduated in 2012 with a bachelor's degree in early child education and a teacher certification. So to start a child care center, you would think like, oh, you definitely can start a center. You know how to teach children, you know how to care for them, you know how to meet their developmental levels, all the things education-wise. Yes, I knew that, but I did not know business. I did not know leadership. And that, because I did not know leadership in about 2014, I decided to go back and get my master's degree in educational leadership because I was lost. Like, I was bringing a lot of people into the program. You know, I was hiring some, I was firing some. I wasn't doing what I needed to do and understand as a leader on how to build a team for people that really want to be on the team. I'm going to say that as a disclaimer. Many times I was just like hiring out of desperation, or obviously just hiring because it's like, I need somebody to fill this place. Not really understanding what training looks like, what onboarding looks like, what benefits, like how can you make your business attractive, like all of those things. I miss me with it. I was just very much like, I need somebody in here to help me today. Like, I'm burnt out, right? So really understanding like hiring and retaining staff. But I think I wish someone would have told me that you really need to develop your communication skills, you really need to develop your people skills, and you really need to understand how people think, how they retain information, how they learn, how you can teach someone to be a great teacher, how you can teach someone how to interact and have great language, and all of those things that you need as an educator in your program. So I definitely wish that someone would have been like, yeah, you think starting a childcare business is just about getting the building, having the money, putting people in place? No. You got to create a community in your facility. You got to make people want to come to work. You got to be able to, you know, roll your sleeves up and get in there and do a circle time. You got to be able to roll your sleeves up, get in there and be a therapist. Like, it's so many things that go with when you're dealing with adults and teaching people as they come in your business, especially because childcare is one of those industries that I feel like, don't kill me down in the comments, but childcare is one of those industries I feel like that people are either coming to us because they're figuring out like, is this something that I like? Is this something I want to make a career, right? Or people are like coming to you because it's like, this is what I've been doing, I'm ready to stay in childcare. You got one of the two, and you might got some in-betweeners. And so figuring out what their skill sets are, figuring out what they're great at, figuring out, you know, like how can you encourage them and build that team effort in your business, it takes a while. And honestly, you as the leader gotta be receptive and ready to receive that feedback that, hey, I'm not a great leader. You got to be ready to, you know, check yourself and be like, you know what, I could have did better with that. Or I lost a teacher for that, you know, or I wouldn't make that mistake again, or I would offer this, or, you know, all of the things. So I definitely wish that I would understand the challenge of not just finding qualified staff. It's not about the qualification, right? It's really about putting people on the bus. And I read a really, really great book in my educational leadership master's class called From Good to Great by Jim Collins. I read it once. I said I was going to read it twice. Ain't get there yet. But that book during that era at that time when I was in my master's program really taught me how to look for skill sets to put the right people on the bus. And if they're not the right people, to remove those people early on so that it doesn't create a ripple effect amongst your other team members in your building. So really educating your mind, quote unquote, about how to properly hire and then retain the teachers that you do have. Okay, so another area I definitely think I'm gonna say I wish that I would have knew is like the licensing process, right? So yes, I knew how to like open up a childcare program. I knew zoning, I knew health department, I knew opening. But I guess I didn't realize how abreast you have to stay on regulations and how abreast you have to stay with all the different agencies, right? So, you know, you have like your licensing agency, that's just like bare minimum, you know, according to your standard. But, you know, you have your licensing agency, you have your accreditation agency, you have your health department agency, you have your food program agency. Like, there's a lot of people that come out and visit your program to ensure that you are in compliance by all these different sectors and areas. And if somebody could have told me that you gotta like know what's going on, you gotta stay in meetings, you gotta go to those community meetings, you gotta show up. You cannot assume that just because we have a director, that's great. But as the owner, I'm gonna tell you, be present and know what's going on. Do not depend on someone else to give you that information. Yes, they might go to a meeting or two, but when someone says, oh, I'm ABC Daycare, they should know, oh yeah, I know that owner. Oh yeah, I see her all the time. She always comes to meetings. Or, oh yeah, I know that owner. She's always at the elementary schools, or she's always at the libraries, or she's always interaction. I didn't realize how much like interaction and professionalism you need in childcare, right? Because at the end of the day, we're still human, right? You're still human, you're still a person, but you gotta switch that hat, like, and you gotta be able to do it like whether you're having a good day, a bad day, or indifference, because at the end of the day, this is your business. This is your baby. And if I would have knew the level of professionalism that you gotta grow from and grow towards to really have a successful business, then I would have probably taken a couple classes definitely earlier on. But really understanding licensing renewal, missing documentation, what's in compliance, how do I reach out to somebody if I have a question, like all of those things I definitely wish I would have known, so that obviously we wouldn't have gotten write-ups, because we have gotten written up in the past. You know, and more importantly, staying in compliance easier. Not just staying in compliance, because people think like, oh, you never want to be that owner that it's like, oh my God, I got my inspection email. Oh my God, I got my inspection phone call. Oh my God, they're coming out tomorrow. Your paperwork is out of pocket. Your files are dysfunctional. You have absolutely no organization in your office. You want to be a childcare owner, like, no, whether compliance is coming out or not, we're staying up to date on these health assessments. Whether compliance is coming out or not, we're staying up to date on all of our staff clearances and having a system of organization to know when those deadlines need to be met. Hey you, yes you, I'm definitely talking to you. If you're seeing this video and you are a childcare provider, or you're looking to start a childcare center, you've landed on the right channel. I offer the #1 Childcare Startup University course, and it is a self-paced course. It walks you through all of the steps on how to start your dream childcare business. So if you're looking for a little coaching, a little guidance, definitely make sure you head over to my website at www.educatedminds.com, where I offer services, courses, coaching sessions, videos, all of the things that you need to start, grow, and scale your childcare business. Let's get back to it. Okay, so one of my favorite ones, I'm gonna say I definitely, like, I knew it was a part of the process, but I just thought like, oh, you get your family handbook, oh, you get your employee handbook, you get it off Google, you change your name, and it's like, oh, there go my handbook. But you're not really in alignment with your handbook. Your handbook's not really in alignment with your business. And so I really wish that I would have knew, like, navigating our parent expectations and having those clear communication lines, right? So like, what's our drop off and arrival policy? You know, what's your late fee policy? What's your tuition policy? Are they paying tuition when you're closed or open or vacation, or all of those things? What are you doing about your sickness policy? Like all the things, like all the uncomfortable conversations that I had to have with parents. And many times I felt like I just was going on a whim. I wasn't like really locked in with my policies to be like, no, this is how you handle this. This is how you rebuttal this. Just because a parent was disrespectful or nasty doesn't mean that you meet them where they are, right? Teaching your team how to be professional. You know, having those clear expectations, I think was really something I didn't know, you know, and I didn't understand. And honestly, I'll be super, super real. I was afraid to enforce policies. Why? Because I was like 22, 23. I had a whole building, an entire business. I had a team and I had children. And I'm like, oh, she's late today. It's okay. Let them come in. Oh, I didn't give my money on time. It's okay. I don't want to lose a parent. You can pay me not to enforce a policy now, right? Because I've realized that you have those policies for a reason, and they really are the core foundation of your business. And when you create those policies and you enforce those policies, your families, your parents, your teachers, people you engage with and interact with, they respect you because you are enforcing those policies. But you also have to not just enforce them, you gotta follow them yourself. So if you yourself saying like, oh, everybody needs to be in uniform and I look like they rolled out of bed, but you coming to work like you rolled out of bed, right? Set the example for your team, set the example for your parents. And so just really enforcing policies, navigating parent experiences, navigating communication with team members, and being okay with firing somebody. Like I was super scared. I'll never forget the first time I had to fire somebody. I was like sweating. I was full blown sweating for at least all day. I was just super nervous and super scared. Mind you, I knew it was time to let this person go, but I just didn't want to do it. And after I did it the first time, it became much more easier. But I say all that to say, like, just familiarizing yourself, like, this is a position you're in, but you gotta grow to that space of comfortability. And the only way you grow is by getting out of your comfort zone and obviously educating your mind. All right, so the last thing I'm gonna say that I wish I would have knew before I jumped into the daycare game is going to be like marketing your business. I'm gonna be honest. I'm a very like, y'all may see me on here talking comfortable. I've grown to this space, okay? When I was like 22, 23, 25 with 2 daycare centers, my mom was always the one, like, I would see her marketing a daycare, wearing her brand. This was before like Instagram and social media and branding was like a big deal, right? I'm coming from old school. I'm coming from family daycare. I'm coming from like the 1999s and the 2000s where here are my flyers, sign up, pull the piece of paper off the pole in the community, okay? I come from that era. And so in that space of marketing my business, I guess I was like just scared. I was nervous. I felt uncomfortable. I didn't want to feel like I was boasting, or I didn't want to feel like I'm always mentioning my business. But what I realized is no one knows who you are. You got to get comfortable with marketing to your customers. You got to get comfortable with marketing on the phone. I used to be so scared to do a tour. I used to be like, oh my God, a parent is coming. I didn't know what to say. I didn't know how to just, create my vibe, create my flow. So marketing my business, I realized that you don't always got to spend so much money on marketing. Marketing comes from you. Like, I remember I used to wear scrubs, right? Like, I used to wear scrubs every day, all day. That was our uniform. I wasn't doing no marketing. And the moment that we started getting like t-shirts, we just got into the embroidery space. But the moment that I started getting like a t-shirt or wearing hats or wearing jackets, just everything with our logo on there, even numbers on the back, even putting our children when we were going on trips, people were calling when I was walking to the schoolyard with t-shirts on, like, marketing your business. They always say that, like, if you're having a conversation with someone, at least in the first 15 minutes, they know what you do, right? They know what you do. They know what business you offer. They know what services you provide, and how can you solve their problem that they're having, which giving them a solution, whether it's childcare, whether it's free childcare. Like, I wasn't comfortable with marketing our business. I was only comfortable with the marketing the business at tour time. And I had to get out of that. Like, my mom used to be like, you go out there and pass out flyers. I used to be like, oh, why? They see the sign right here. Mindset. Wasn't ready. 21-year-old Dom, right? So I say all that to say that you got to get comfortable with marketing your business no matter where you are. I would walk into the place and I would never have business cards on me. This is before like digital scan and this or that. Like, I would never have business cards on me. I would never have business cards in my car. Now, you're gonna see some flyers on my car. You're gonna see some, business cards in my wallet, not just because I'm going to an event, but just in general. People need your business. People need your service, and it's your duty. It is your duty to market your business no matter where you are. Whether you're online, whether you're offline, whether you're in the community, come prepared, represent, show up, be proud of your business. If you're not proud, you need to switch that energy and figure out, why do I not feel comfortable speaking to others? We all are shy, right? I wasn't always as comfortable speaking in front of a camera, and damn Skippy, I wasn't always as comfortable speaking to strangers. I would feel like, oh, they see my shirt, they don't need to know. Or I would see people passing out flyers and I'd be like, nah, I'm okay, I'm scared. I don't want nobody to reject me. Rejection is a part of the process. Get comfortable with getting rejected, and then you're gonna skyrocket your confidence to marketing your business. And it was when I really kind of joined into a little bit of network marketing, or really just going to meetings and taking leads and leading meetings and being a part of those communities and those advisory meetings, like all of that. Once I started like putting myself out there more and showing up in that capacity, people knew who I was, or knew who my mom was as the face of that company, and then you begin to get referrals more easier, so get comfortable with marketing your business for sure. So if you like this video and more where they came from, definitely make sure that you hit that subscribe button. Leave me some comments down and let me know, like, what are things that you're learning in your childcare startup journey? I want to hear from y'all. That is how I know that you're loving these videos, you're watching these videos to the end, and more importantly, leave me some comments. The more comments you leave, the more questions you ask, that's how I pour the knowledge out to you guys. Until next time.